today is traditions. And traditions are something that every family has, whether you have a large family or you have a small family. And about this time of year, that's when you really start hearing about traditions. Usually around this time of year, you're talking about Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving traditions. And earlier this week, I sent home a worksheet, and basically it's talking about how you celebrate the different traditions of Thanksgiving, but we'll be going over that later. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read a story, and then I'm going to show two short videos about traditions and cultures from around the world, and then we'll work on an activity. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the Pilgrim story. The group of people, now known as Pilgrims, were unhappy about events taking place in their home country of England. There was much religious persecution. King James would not allow them to attend the church of their choice. Because of this, the Pilgrims decided to leave England and to find a place that would let them worship God in their own way. The Pilgrims set sail for Amsterdam and finally settled in Leyden, Holland, where they were warmly welcomed. They soon realized, however, that they could not stay in Holland unless they were willing to give up their English customs and language. The decision was made to set sail for North America, where they could establish their own community and preserve the English language. After much difficulty, they were able to finance and supply two small ships, the Speedwell and the Mayflower. Then they began their journey across the Atlantic Ocean. Unfortunately, the Speedwell soon began developing a leak, and both ships had to return to port. On September 6, 1620, the Mayflower set sail along with 102 people aboard. This was a difficult time for the Pilgrims. Food was scarce and consisted mostly of salted meat and dry biscuits. They were unable to build fires for either cooking or warmth for fear of burning the ship. Many became ill due to these poor conditions. One happy event did take place during the voyage. A baby was born to the Hopkins family and suitably named Oceanus. Land was first sighted on November the 11th, but it was not until November the 21st, 1620, that they dropped anchor and began to build a settlement near the present-day area of Provincetown, Massachusetts. Before leaving the ship, all of the men signed the Mayflower Compact, an agreement stating that they were still loyal to the King of England, but would set their own laws to provide for their general good and welfare. Their first winter was extremely difficult. There was little food, and their simple shelters provided little relief from the cold. The Pilgrims quickly made friends with the Indians, who taught them how to build stronger houses and to hunt for food. When spring finally arrived, the Pilgrims went straight to work plowing the land and planting seeds that they had carried from England. An Indian named Squanto became a very good friend and helped with the planting. When the harvest came, there were more than enough fruits and vegetables to store for next winter. The Pilgrims were so thankful that they decided to invite their Indian friends for a feast of Thanksgiving. On the day of the feast, the Pilgrims covered the tables with good things to eat from their gardens. The Indians brought wild turkeys, game, and shellfish. Before the feast began, everyone bowed their heads and said a little prayer of thanksgiving to God. This first Thanksgiving was a joyous occasion which lasted 3 days. Today, Thanksgiving is a legal holiday and is celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November. In millions of homes across America, families reunite and remember to thank God for all the good that they have been given. And that is what people do for Thanksgiving. Usually families get together, they have a big meal. Some people watch football games. It just depends on what you like to do. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a video and it's about the early American settlers.
Life wasn't always the way it is today, and our country used to look a lot different. Before any of our families arrived here, the first groups of people that lived in America were the Native Americans. Eventually, people began to arrive from other countries, such as Spain, France, and England. These people who left their country to live in a new land are called settlers. One well-known group of settlers were called pilgrims. More people kept coming to America, and eventually there were 13 colonies of settlers. The leaders of the 13 colonies had a meeting where they wrote an important letter to King George saying that they would not follow his rules anymore. This famous letter is called the Declaration of Independence. A few years later, there was another great president of America. His name was Abraham Lincoln. When it became crowded, some people loaded up their things and moved farther west, where there was more room. These settlers on the move were called pioneers. Pioneers are people that are the first to move to a new land or area. Eventually, people created new lives for themselves and their families. As you can see, many things were harder to do for the early Americans, even something as simple as boiling water. Life is much easier today with stoves to cook on, running water, and electricity. Getting around for the early Americans wasn't easy either. Most often, people simply walked from place to place. Today, our families can get around by bus, car, train, and even airplane. You can see that life was very different and much harder for the early Americans than it is for us today. The end.
Okay, and I'm going to play you one more video. How do I get out of this? And it's about traditions around the world.
How is culture shared?
Just being with my family. Halloween and 4th of July.
We go and see the fireworks, and we sometimes wear like red, white, and blue.
We celebrate Thanksgiving. We went over to my grandma's house and we played games and ate turkey and food and watched football.
I'm studying Africa in my classroom, so maybe sometimes in the books that she reads, there's some like words that I think it's an African language.
In China, they spoke a different language and they talked a little faster. Like some people celebrate Hanukkah and some people do Christmas.
My friend's birthday party. I'm going to celebrate his birthday, and I love my friends' birthdays. It's fun.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you do an activity that is going to be related to Thanksgiving traditions, and it's going to be based on individual students. Alright, I'm gonna have you, first thing, you've drawn a, turkey before, using your hand, have you ever done that, where you just basically trace your fingers? Yours is gonna be backwards. You know, cause I would normally do my, trace my left and trace in your right because you're left-handed. Okay, good job. Now, do you want to make it look more like a turkey, or you want to put your traditions down first?
Traditions.
Okay, so starting with your pinky here, just right above it, name one thing that you always do for Thanksgiving? Eat turkey. So you do this every year
Yes.
and every Thanksgiving,
Yes.
and that is called a
Tradition.
tradition. Okay, and what's another tradition that y'all usually celebrate on Thanksgiving? And put it above this one.
The turkey bowl.
Turkey bowl, what's that?
Football game.
Football, okay.
So I put football.
Football.
But it's seeing like football with no pads.
So is this something that you would celebrate with your family or your friends or both?
Both.
Both. And what do y'all do?
Go to the park at Williston, and they have a football game, and you have the people from different teams in town play. The two best teams in town play against.
So they're actually football players?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So the families and stuff gather to do this every Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Y'all do it in the morning or in the afternoon?
And it lasts all day. They have,
Oh, really? How do you
They have pickouts.
Oh.
Pickouts at the football field.
So,
But people still eat the turkey and stuff at home.
okay.
This is in the afternoon.
Okay, so it does begin in the afternoon. Oh, so after eating, pretty much like lunchtime. Okay. What's another thing y'all usually do on Thanksgiving? And write it above this one.
Call family.
Call your family. Now, why do you have to call your family? Why can't you just go walk down the street and see them?
And none of them live here
Okay, where do they live?
in North Carolina, in Florida, in California.
So all
New Jersey.
over.
All over.
Okay. So every year you pick up the phone and do you start dialing someone in particular, like your first phone call? What is that?
Mom,
Your mom, okay. Then after your mom, you talk to,
my aunts. Because mama, all my brothers and sisters except for Robert are there. So mama, and then,
now do they celebrate the way you do?
oh, they have everybody there. Everybody goes to somebody's house.
And,
They have like a family reunion.
oh, it's
for
like,
Thanksgiving.
okay, so it's a mini family reunion, and what do they do when they get together?
Everybody go to church.
Okay, so the first thing they do is go to church, and what do they do there?
They celebrate by serving everybody. They give them a meal. They always have a Thanksgiving meal for people that can't do Thanksgiving.
Oh, so homeless people. Okay.
They feed everybody at church.
Well, that's good, that's very good. And y'all do this every year too? Okay.
I don't know about this year because of COVID, but they'll do something. They'll still make plates and give them to people if they can't. Because people ain't gonna be able to stay in there, but they'll make plates and give them to them.
But it's good that they do that for people who can't afford to give a meal any other way. That's very good. Okay, what's another thing? Okay, we've got eat turkey, football, call the family. Gotta come up with 2 more. Okay, if you want to do that, just split.
And watch shows on TV.
What kind of shows?
The Christmas shows, even though Thanksgiving. 'Cause they put
Oh,
Christmas.
you mean like Christmas movies, or are you talking about like parades? Or
Yes, the Macy's.
Macy's Day Parade?
Yes.
Okay, so you watch that. And that's in the mornings too, usually. So you're watching TV while your mom's cooking?
Yes.
Do you do anything to help your mom? Is it a tradition for you to help with something?
No, they won't let us see them cook.
They won't let you in the kitchen?
Nope.
Oh,
They
okay.
don't let you know what they cook or how they cook it.
Now, when do y'all have like Christmas trees too, Thanksgiving, or you wait till Christmas to do that?
After Thanksgiving. We don't put them up
You don't put them up till after?
after Thanksgiving.
Oh.
It's still Thanksgiving.
Okay. Because, you know, in some places, they put them up the same day as Thanksgiving, or they might put it the day after, but, so you wait until
After Thanksgiving.
after Thanksgiving. Okay, one more thing. One more thing that's a tradition you do every year at Thanksgiving. Because that's what traditions are. Something that you do every year, no matter what. Can you think of one more?
There used to be tournaments.
Okay, okay, a lot of people don't do tournaments for Thanksgiving, so, when you eat, do y'all eat separately? Do you-
No, everybody gets together.
Oh, okay, so it's a family table
Oh, yeah,
with everybody there. And who's the person that traditionally cut the turkey?
Daddy. At the same time.
Did you do anything in particular when you, before you ate?
You say grace?
Say grace. You know, because some people don't say grace.
Yep. Say grace.
Okay, was it just, was that done by your dad too, your mom, or anybody? in
Well,
particular?
everybody. It's
Oh.
Could it be Opportunity, I believe? Somebody. It's
So they
somebody-
just pick and choose that every year, but it's done every year. Okay. Now, do you know how to make that into a proper turkey?
Nope.
You don't. Well, the only thing I've got today is neon colored pencils, so if you want to, you can color the feathers a different color. And you've got to draw a face on it, don't you? Where's the face?
Right here.
Okay, you gonna draw an eye, or what goes on top of a turkey if you're drawing it like that? Okay, that's the bottom of the turkey. And what is that called? I don't know what it's called, that's the reason I asked.
That is red.
Yeah, it's red. I don't know if I got red or not, but yep, I got my form of red anyway.
Gobble, gobble.
I don't know what that little thing is called. It's so well, you're like chickens, right? I mean, as far as it doesn't have to be perfect. Just draw an eye.
Oh.
Kind of looks like a turtleneck. Okay. And then these are what?
Feather.
Feathers. And for each feather you have the head representing where everybody gathers together and prays before they eat. So what's the most important tradition to you?
Everybody get together.
Everybody get together? Because you're gonna get together once or twice, or how many times you gotta get together?
Hardly none.
No, well, your family tradition when you were a
Oh.
kid.
Oh,
How
like
often
Christmas
did
and Thanksgiving.
Okay, so you got together twice a year, and it's every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. That's good. So you
In
kind
different
of,
places, you go to different places.
oh, okay, so y'all would not just do it in one particular place, y'all, you would pick a different one every year, Okay.
Different house.
but the same traditions, just different houses.
Yeah. They do different foods, but it'll be the same everywhere at church.
What's your favorite?
The cranberry sauce with turkey.
That's your favorite?
Cranberry sauce, the red cranberry round stuff that you slice up, look like
In a
jelly.
can?
Cranberry sauce. and
That's
jelly.
what James was saying. He said it's, James is my nephew. And he said that when you dump the can, he said because the rings around it, you know where to slice. So you like cranberry. Does everybody in your family like cranberries? So it's a tradition, but not everybody partakes of it.
No, I think
Not everybody
I
enjoys
think
it.
everybody might get it. It don't matter if you like it.
Oh,
They put that
as a
what's
something.
this stuff? Not stuffing. What is it? Mom make it different with meat. It's
Giblet gravy.
no.
No.
It's bread with different stuff in it. They have sometimes have peppers and all that other stuff in it.
And it's
Stuffing.
not, Oh, it is
Stuffing, but
stuffing.
they don't call it
Okay.
stuffing. They call it,
Dressing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because everybody has a different name for different things too. So
Stuffing
it
goes
calls-
into turkey. We don't put nothing in the turkey.
Well, we
But not
don't.
that you eat.
Yeah, we don't either. But you know, you can still go back and forth. You can call it stuffing even if it doesn't go necessarily inside. I call it dressing myself too. Turkey and dressing. Some people like ham on Turkey Day. To me, it's Turkey Day. But you know, I eat ham, but just not a big fan of it. On Thanksgiving especially, that's what we've always had on Thanksgiving is turkey. We might have other meats, but turkey's the main one and always something that we do. Well, that's a good turkey, and you got some good traditions that you do for Thanksgiving. Do you have any other traditions that you do in November? We'll talk about a couple of those, and if you want to finish coloring that, you can. I just was wondering if y'all had any other traditions that y'all celebrate. Okay, what do you do for Christmas? I know you said that you don't put your Christmas tree up until after Thanksgiving, so when do y'all usually do that? Do you wait till December, or do you?
After Thanksgiving, maybe a few days after.
Oh, okay, so not that
Not
long.
long.
You just don't want to mix the two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. And do y'all use a fake or real tree?
Real tree.
Real tree.
And then when you get finished with the trees, you take them to the beach, and they put them on the beach to build up
The mud,
the dunes. I can't think of the things. Yeah.
so they take the Christmas trees to the
And they
beach.
and they build up. They help build up the things so the water don't wash everything away.
Oh, the shoreline. Okay. Well, that's a good tradition too. Well, I guess that's going to be the end of the activity, and thank you so much
Thank you.
for sharing all of your traditions for Thanksgiving and some for Christmas. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.